Right, now this, according to the label, is about the Gulf, boss.
Yes, the Gulf. Great tragedy.
Indeed, boss. Terrible to see the face of war in your own home.
Terrible to see the face of Collins on every blasted TV channel. He looks like a second-hand camel dealer, for God's sake.
Well, news now of the hostages in the Gulf, and we have in fact a quite dramatic tape of a meeting with some of the Irish hostages who have broken a curfew to speak to us. They have remained in hiding despite the Iraqi order to come forward. One woman, a radiologist from Donegal, spoke at a secret meeting place to RTE's chief reporter Charlie Bird. We hide by day and move from house to house by night. If they knew we were talking to outside reporters, I just...
What would they do to you? Would you face punishment? Do the Iraqis suspect your whereabouts?
We're done for. Please don't name us, whatever you do, or we'll be in greater...
Turning to you, Mr. Brogan, a civil engineer like yourself, employed by subcontractors in the...
And before our next item, Madeleine Taylor-Quinn is on our phone line, and she wants to make what she says is a very important point. Madeleine.
Thank you, David. I want to complain about the disgraceful TV coverage of the Gulf War, the wallowing in violence and destruction that's going on.
Indeed.
Only yesterday at 7 o'clock I was watching RTE and I was appalled at the casual presentation of violence. Explosions, wholesale destruction, all presented as though it was entertainment.
Madeleine, at 7 o'clock yesterday on RTE, you would have been watching The Roadrunner.
Well, exactly, whatever. Now, it was unacceptable to see the tragedy of the Gulf War.
It has nothing to do with the Gulf War, Madeleine. The Roadrunner is a children's programme.
Just a moment, please. I haven't finished my point. There was this poor coyote who was pushed off a mountain and fell splat on the ground. Then he was fired from a rocket launcher right into the wall of a building and he slid slowly down.
Madeleine, or may I call you Mad for short, it's a cartoon. It's a joke.
Excuse me. This is no joke. There are lives being lost. That coyote has feelings. Do you not realise that coyote has relations? And some of them voted for me and Claire last time out. Think of the distress being caused. That poor coyote...
Mara,
yes, boss.
I think... Don't put that cigarette out on the new carpet. I think what the world needs right now is an act of statesmanship, a masterstroke of diplomacy, someone who can stop all this fighting, who has the credibility to resolve the many differences between Arab and Jew.
Oh, you mean a sort of Henry Kissinger, but...
Exactly. Of course, it doesn't have to be him particularly. Any great statesman. It could be someone else.
Any ideas, boss?
Me, Mara, me.
Well,
that's what they're waiting for. Another Kissinger, and I can't think of anyone else to fit the bill, can you?
Yeah, but like, boss, he was Nixon's era, Nixon's Secretary of State.
So what? I mean, I was quite close to Nixon in ways. We both had our problems with tape recorders. We've both been hounded by the media. Both had our trials and tribulations. Correction. I had my trial. He just got the tribulation. Didn't even have to go near a courtroom. He didn't. He got a pardon.
Yeah, but boss, Kissinger had a special understanding of the Middle East situation. I mean, he was Jewish.
So what? I mean, after all, you didn't perhaps realise, did you, that many of my people were descended directly from Moses. Isaiah Haughey farmed olives in Judea. And, of course, Benjamin Haughey was the leader of a kibbutz there. And I myself often spent summers in the orange groves. Very camaraderie there. And every evening, Shimon Haughey, my uncle on the other side, would visit me in the orange grove and squeeze my Jaffas to see how they were coming on. And at night we would sit around listening to my Topol records, and afterwards I would charge them for the listen. They respected that kind of thing there. Oh, I remember Rebecca Shamir and the way she might look at you, and at night we would go out to the olive groves together and she would help me oil my Uzi, and on the Sabbath I would eat matzah balls. Israel, my Israel, this is... Why are you looking at me like that, PJ?
And now, Collins of Arabia.
Firstly, let me say that neutrality is a very important part of our policy. There are two sides to this whole issue, my good side and my not so good side, and I appeal to the photographers to take my good side. On the one hand, of course, we're appalled at King Hussein's invasion of Kuwait, now the whole escalation with the Scud missiles, but at the same time we don't want to shag all chance of Larry getting his beef money back, and of course we'd have to pick up the tab and export credit insurance, and that's something we can't afford with times so hard and national debt so high, and Charles Haughey's new offices still to be paid for. Of course, having said that, Iraq must realise that we are a member of the EC. We are Europeans and committed to the give and take of Europe. We take the CAP and the farm subsidies and the structural fund and the free trips to Brussels and the big exits, and we give them guff in exchange. So and they've also, of course, taken Ray McSharry out of the picture for a while. Now, if they'll only hang on to him till Fianna Fáil has chosen a second leader, whoever that might be. So that's why we have decided to allow the Americans to land at Shannon, though I hope now they're not going to turn Limerick into another Philippines or whatever. Limerick is a very important place, especially West Limerick.
Yeah, but you see, boss, with your Israeli lineage, what about the Arabs? They'll never accept you.
Of course they will, PJ. This is my whole point. I've been trying to get this thing across to you, PJ. Arabia is in my blood. You probably didn't know. T. Haughey is a great man for the Arabs. Wrote his book, 7 Pillars of Ambition. Of course, I learned to ride dromedaries from Sharif Ali Haughey, who's on the Bedouin side of the family and a great man for the old camel racing. The Bedouin, of course, are very warlike and aggressive people, dressed from head to toe in black, but having been with the Christian Brothers in Joys, they were nothing new to me. Sheikh Faisal Haughey would have been on my mother's side, and often, while I myself went picnicking in Sinai on Saturday afternoons, I would visit the very many oases that were there or thereabouts and just sit and flick through the Quran. And of course it was this experience of sitting under the palm trees which gave me a lifelong craving for dates, all sorts of dates, fat or thin, and to this day I like nothing better than to sit with a date on my knee.
Yeah, but the problem is Saddam. He wouldn't be related, would he, boss?
Well, of course, Saddam is a wild fella, but then there was always a wild streak in the family. I mean, look at Jock.
Nothing. Not there. Mara, that tape is like an unexploded bomb. Where the hell is it?
I don't know, boss.
Mara, what's the bit you like best about being the government press secretary? The receptions?
Well, of course, the receptions are fun, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Travel?
Well, certainly the travel is interesting.
Brussels?
Oh, indeed.
Rome?
Rome.
Gardner Street?
No. Gardner Street, boss.
The Dole.
Rathkeil, Mecca of the West, home of the wanderer and shopping capital of the hemisphere. Just look at that brand new colour television, mister. Go on, take it, a fiver to you. A fiver to you if you buy that lovely roller carpet, ma'am. Don't step on the baby there. Hey, you young fella, get off the roof of me high ass. What you think you're doing? Pure new wool that is, ma'am. Oh, I'm telling you now, Gerry Collins did walk about on that carpet, I swear it, last election. A lovely man. Tried vote for them flying if they give us the vote. It reminds me of my own husband. Get away from that clacks, young fellas. Get on off the roof of that high ass. Go on. Don't step on me, baby.
Rathkeil is where it's at. Rathkeil is the biz. Whether it's carpets or clock radios, get your high ace into gear and come down to where the good times roll. Rathkeil, it's high ace heaven.
All right now, and this week with Ian McKellen below in the Opera House, we thought it meet to talk tonight about Bill Shakespeare himself, Bard of Avon and Bane of the Leaving Cert. And so the National Theatre desert the banks of the Thames for the banks of my own lovely Lee. So the good burghers of Cork will love that. They'll be renting out the monkey suits goodo and off to the Opera House with the best of them, and doubtless clutching their Haji's Turkish delight. I doubt if old Richard III would have played to a rougher house since the Globe in Elizabethan London. Now, I see that the Observer itinerary for this National Theatre tour mentions Cork among the provincial venues, if you don't mind. Cork Provincial. Anyway, as I say, they'll all be off to the Opera House to play at being cosmopolitans, if even only for an evening. So, just to give the Cork folk a dig out, so to speak, we've brought in one of their own to explain the plots of both plays very simply, so that they won't be too confused at the show. Professor Tig Lucy from the English department in UCC joins me now. He's an acknowledged expert on the Bard.
How are you, Mike? Now, I'll talk about Richard first, will I? He is this hump, you see, he's a bit of a spare-like, and he's one of these fellas that wants it all. Now, a bit's no good to him, so what he does is he murders all around him, right? Now, to tell you the truth, like, he doesn't actually murder him himself, like in person, you see. It's the cuteness of him. He gets other fellas to do it. Then he becomes king, but the point is he happy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Now, King Lear, there's a different kettle of fish altogether.
King Lear, the laughing monarch.
That's right, yeah. Now, you see, he gives it all away, lock, stock and barrel, but he regrets it then, and he goes mad, you see. That's basically it.
Yes, indeed. Well...
Mara.
I'm trying, boss.
Trying my patience.
And now
Mara.
this is it now, I'm sure. The national question. That's got to be it. I mean, that was what caused our difficulty in the first place.
And now it's comedy time with the 1916 gang in I Love Piercy.
Wonder who that will be. Maybe it's Dev. He'll be down in Boland's Mills again. It's more likely Piercy. Why, it's Piercy! Hello, Porridge.
Hiya, gang.
For a moment, I thought it would be Dev.
You know Dev.
He'll be down in Boland's Mills again.
Say, would you guys like to go to the post office?
Easter Sunday, go to the post office? Okay, but what's happening?
A rising.
Oh, no, not another rising.
Why not, for crying out loud? Everybody be there.
Not Dev.
You're right.
He'll be down in Boland's Mills again. Look, Piercy, remember what happened the last time.
Come on, it'll be different this time.
You and your big ideas. Last time we went for a day out to Hoth, you had to go and spoil it all by taking those stupid rifles off the Asgard. Meanwhile, Roger got into trouble with that stupid submarine off Bannistrand. And all those things they said about him in the court. And now you want a rising.
There.
Oh, Thoric, every time you do this sort of thing, we get into trouble with General French.
Dev is not worried about getting into trouble, and neither am I.
Of course Dev's not worried. He's got American citizenship.
Hey, cheer up. That'll be Uncle James from the Gorbals. Hi, Jimmy.
See you, Porrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, why, it's Jimmy Connolly.
Now see here. This Dublin's a strange sort of place. Oh, aye. People play with the proclamations and that. No, I mean, I just wanted to buy a stamp at the post office. The next thing you know, I've half the bloody British Empire trying to mollocate me. Gunboats on the Liffey, the bloody lot.
Wonder who that is.
Well, it'll no be Dev, because he'll be down at Boland's Mills again.
Why, if it isn't Yatesy, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to hear a poem, everyone?
Give us a poem, Billy.
Oh, aye, give us a poem and don't be hanging around like a fart in a phone box.
I write it in a verse, MacDonagh and MacBride and Connolly and Pearse. Now and in time to be, wherever green is worn, are changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born.
Oh, Billy, that was sweet. A terrible beauty. More like a terrible pity that that's all we have time for this week.
And I Love Piercy was recorded in front of a dead audience and is now playing nightly in Belfast, Crossmaglen, Armagh, Derry,
and Uri. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.